Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our third day of National Work Experience Week. I am Andy from Career TV, as you probably already are aware, and today we are joined by the team at Royal Mail to discuss how to develop your skills through work experience with Royal Mail. Remember, this session is recorded, so if you do miss anything, don't worry. It will be uploaded on our YouTube and website shortly. There will be a Q&A as well at the end of the session, so if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat and Q&A box and we will answer them at the end of the session. So without further ado, I'll pass on to Royal Mail to continue with their event. I think you're on mute, just by chance.
I literally said, I hope you can hear me okay, and clearly you couldn't, so thank you very much for that.
Not a problem.
So I will say again, welcome everybody, and thank you very much for joining us on today's event. I'm Sarah McGinley. I work at Royal Mail as an early careers manager, and I will go into a bit more of an introduction today. But we're really excited to be part of Work Experience Week and to share some of our opportunities around work experience and apprenticeships with you today. So I can see quite a lot of you are saying hi Ginny, Nina, Mo and everybody else. So first of all then, just to say that I will have a QR code on some of the slides throughout this session. For anybody who doesn't know, you can obviously scan the QR code with your phone through your camera and it will take you to our Early Careers website. I am also going to post the link in the chat now as well, but if you do just type in Royal Mail Early Careers into Google, it should take you straight to there. We do have a bit more information about our opportunities on our website, and you'll also be able to see when we list vacancies for work experience and early careers programs in the future. So as I said, I'm Sarah McGinley. I am currently an early careers manager at Royal Mail. So for anybody who doesn't know what that means, I work within a team that looks after all of our apprenticeship, graduate, internships and other work experience opportunities. So we will design them, implement them, and then obviously support you when you come into the organisation as well. I'm a former apprentice myself, so I joined Royal Mail on a level 4 business administration apprenticeship, and then I also did the Chartered Manager level 6 degree apprenticeship as well. So I'm well versed in understanding from an employer side what goes on in the background, but obviously I've lived and breathed the experience of leaving school and coming on to an apprenticeship as well. I'm also an ambassador for apprenticeships for the northwest of England, so probably what you'll get from this is I am a big apprenticeships champion, and I'm hoping that some of you will be after today as well. So just a quick run through of agenda. It looks like there's a lot to get through, but we'll hope that we keep it engaging. But we really want to give you a bit of an overview about who Royal Mail are, what we do, our values and our career opportunities. Before then, I'll move into why you might want to consider work experience or an apprenticeship with us, what our current offering is, and then you'll hear from some of our current finance apprentices as well. So we're going to move into a quick poll really, just to introduce yourself, give us an idea of who is on the session today, and so that I can make sure that you get whatever you want out of today's session. Okay, so I think that poll's now live. If you could just start submitting your answers and we'll give you a minute or so. Okay, we've got mostly people looking for work experience, careers advisors, teachers. If you've answered other group and you're happy to share, please do put it in the chat and let us know who you are and why you're on today's call as well. Okay, great. So there's definitely a good mix there. So for teachers and careers advisors, we'll make sure that you've got all the information you need if you want to contact us about future opportunities for your students. And obviously for everybody on the call interested in work experience, we'll give you a bit of a download around what we offer today. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've just got one more poll now, and it's really to understand what types of programs you're looking for today. So we've got a series of programs there, from apprenticeships to T-levels to degree apprenticeships, graduate schemes. You can also select all of the above. And if you're not sure and you're just here to find out a bit more about Royal Mail, just put "I'm not sure yet." But that poll's now live. If you could just pop your answers in there, that would be fantastic. Okay, so we've already got a bit of a mix. Some people are after apprenticeships, degree apprenticeships, work experience placements, all of the above. Okay, definitely a mix there. The vast majority of you looking to find out about work experience placements, and then second, apprenticeships, all of the above, and degree apprenticeships. So I'm hoping we'll be able to give you a good overview of all of those things today. So thank you very much for submitting your answers. If there is anything else that you're looking to find out about that isn't covered in sort of the poll, again, please do pop it in the chat and we'll see if we can answer that today for you. Okay, so we'll get into the main part of the session now. So there's just a bit of a slogan here, I guess, that says Royal Mail sits out of our communities. We want people on board who truly love what they do. And that kind of summarises our ethos when it comes to early careers programs, work placements, apprenticeships. We want people to come and join us who are passionate about what they do, who are motivated to get up in the morning and come to work, and hopefully really receive the recognition for doing that, and a sense of achievement in delivering as well. So who are we? We are an international business that provides postal and delivery services across extensive networks. So when we say Royal Mail Group, we really comprise of sort of two main companies. We've got Royal Mail in the UK. So we've got Royal Mail, who you'll be very familiar with, sort of posties that bring your letters and parcels. And you might also see Parcel Force lorries that sort of do sort of international and larger deliveries as well. Lesser known is GLS, which is General Logistics Systems, and they are part of our group on the international side as well. So just a bit of a download of what we do. Our purpose is very much to connect customers, companies and countries. We are a big employer. We operate nationally, not just in England, but in Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, as well as GLS operating on our international side. So we very much spread right across the world. Some of our values, they really underpin everything we do. So we want to put a focus on our customers, we want to create trust, and we want to provide value for money services. And one thing that you'll hear when you speak to anyone at Royal Mail is they say the business is the people, and they are really proud to work with everyone that they do. And then our ambition is to build a more diverse and balanced parcels-led international business. So for anybody who doesn't know, we are the only provider that delivers the universal service obligation, which basically means we deliver your letters anywhere across the country for one price. So obviously when you want to post a letter, you either get a first class or a second class stamp. Doesn't matter whether it's going to the Highlands or down to the bottom of the country or London, it's all for one price. So alongside that, we're starting to really look at how do we build the business and make sure that we're more efficient to cope with more parcels, because obviously lots of people are shopping online these days. So how do we add value? There's just a few bits there. You know, I think I'll pull out transformation. We are in a very big transformation period as a business. I've just kind of said, you might be aware that we've had some changes and we have some of our hubs popping up around the country. Again, very much to focus on how can we capitalise on sort of the parcels growth and make sure that we're set up to deliver that for people and provide value. And then growth and quality of service. So making sure that we are investing to maintain that customer trust and deliver where we can. So we are the UK's leading delivery company. As you'll see on the screen there, we handle a lot of parcels every year, and we have a wide feet on the street network. So all of our posties and our delivery operatives who go out there play an important role in the communities and are really the face of our business. We are also a very diverse and wide network. We are one of the largest employers in the country, and we have a lot of different networks and communities in the business, aiming really to represent everybody that we serve. There's a couple of points on here again, you'll kind of see the breadth of how many employees we have across the country. We're also a responsible employer, with the majority of our UK colleagues being on permanent contracts, and we are also a disability confident employer as well. So later on today, when I talk about some of our apprenticeship opportunities that are now live, please be assured that if you do have any additional needs throughout that application process, we are more than happy to support you there as well. So I'll just talk a little bit about Careers Royal Mail. So this is by no means sort of the final list of all of our business areas. Generally, if you can think about any kind of job, we probably have that job at Royal Mail. But you'll see some of the key areas here really where we are delivering for careers in the future. So everything from human resources and finance down to operations management. You'll see some of the apprenticeships in there that we offer around postal apprenticeships, driving, fleet, engineering. And then we obviously also have our facilities side of the business and parcel force as well. Technology, we do cybersecurity, data service delivery, and you might not necessarily think of some of these things when you think about Royal Mail. We do get it a lot that is quite surprising that we've got some of these business areas, but because of obviously the sheer breadth of what we do as an organisation, all of these business areas are really integral to helping us automate processes, deliver innovative initiatives across the country, and obviously take us through that transformation as well. So how can you join us then? So there's kind of a bit of a flow chart on here, which I'll just take you through. So I guess the first area is T-levels. So for those of you who don't know what a T-level is, it is an opportunity where you would go to college. You might do a T-level in finance or digital and data or something else, and you would study as you would if you did an A-level or a BTEC qualification, and then you would do an industry placement in your second year. So we've hosted digital T-level placements with us, where students have come in and joined us in our operation and worked through delivering a process improvement project. They've then presented that back to the organisation with their findings and thoughts on how we should implement things going forward. They're a great opportunity for you to sort of try and test us, and for us to obviously work in the local communities and get students and their fresh thinking in with us as well. We also offer undergraduate internships, so that is where if you're completing a degree, you could come and join us for 12 months in an internship. And again, it's a placement where you will be embedded into the culture of Royal Mail. You'll be given responsibility and tasks to do. We typically tend to offer these in engineering at the moment, but in the past we've done them in technology, and we've also done them in finance as well. And you will really be given your own case workload to look through, and you'll be able to deliver over that time. And just to say that they are paid internships as well. If you're maybe you're leaving school or college or university and you're looking for your next step, we do offer graduate schemes. Typically, again, these are across HR, operations, parcel force, finance, and other areas where you would come into the business, you would be put on a development program, and you would have your own placements to work around the business on as well. And then kind of the largest area that we have is apprenticeships, which we'll go into further detail today, but we offer apprenticeships from level 2 right through to level 6 at degree level as well. And then kind of underpinning all of that really that's open to anyone are work experience placements. So we typically offer work experience placements across the business. We don't formally advertise these online at the moment. However, what we will do, and again, I'll get into that further in the presentation, is when we get a request through our early careers mailbox, we'll liaise with you to understand what experience you're looking for, where you're based, and then we'll go out to our local units and HR business partners to arrange and facilitate that for you. But previously we've had people come and shadow people in HR because they're really interested in understanding how we work with our systems, processes, and our people. And we've also had people supporting the operation to understand what happens with our deliveries and our parcels as well. And then kind of underpinning all of that you would get from any of our work early career schemes is coaching and mentoring, a competitive salary, qualifications in some cases, network building, and obviously again it's kind of giving you some of those employability skills for your next steps, whether that is with Royal Mail or with someone else as well. But the aim of all of this is to create future career opportunities for you, and obviously for us to have some fresh thinking and future talent in the organisation as well. So why should you consider work experience? I'm sure you will all have been well versed in this, but I thought I'd just pop a few things up on there in case there are things that you haven't thought of before. We're really passionate about work experience. We're passionate about apprenticeships, our graduate schemes, and all of our other early careers schemes. And I think all of them are great to be able to gain hands-on experience. You get insight into Royal Mail and the industry that we operate in, and also obviously it's a way for you to boost your confidence and learn new skills as well before you go on to your next steps. What is so great about Royal Mail is obviously, like I say, we are a national employer, and you know, I've been in the business 5 years, and sometimes I'm still meeting new people in different departments. So it is really a really vast network of people that you can start to build those relationships with as well. And then why might you consider an apprenticeship in particular? So again, just some of the benefits on there. You still can put your knowledge into practice. So with many of our apprenticeships, you will work with the training provider to understand the theory of the apprenticeship standard that you're studying. And then you would come into the business, into your role, and be given endless opportunities to really apply that, learn from it, and then grow from it as well. As with anything, you'll be given responsibility. So we always say our apprentices don't just make the tea and coffee. If you're working in an office, we will all take to do that, but you will be given real responsibility in your role to try, test things and deliver results as well. Obviously you'll get paid, and you'll also be able to learn and develop further professionally and personally. Many of our apprenticeships also offer a funded qualification alongside that. And it's an opportunity for you to enhance and develop your different skills as well. So just looking specifically at our apprenticeships, there's kind of an overview of the typical ones we offer on there. So we do a postal apprenticeship, which kind of says what it is on the tin. You will come into our operation and you will be able to learn sort of the end-to-end process of delivering letters and parcels. You'll gain a vast amount of experience in understanding those processes, and obviously you'll be a pillar in the community when you're out there working up to delivering on your own route. We've got finance and accounting apprenticeships, which we will talk to you about in more detail today. Typically, this programme starts at level 2, and you will work through level 3 and level 4 before then moving on to a permanent role if you're successful. We have an engineering degree apprenticeship, which will be new this year. So typically we've offered an engineering technician apprenticeship in the past. However, with some of the innovation and projects that are going on in the organisation, we were really keen to have a look at a degree apprenticeship pathway there as well. We offer fleet maintenance level 3 apprenticeship, so you would come in, you would learn how to fix our vehicles and maintain our fleet. That is all in-house, so you would get a lot of experience from your peers. And then we also offer a project management degree apprenticeship and building services engineering as well. I've just seen a question pop up while I said project management, so I'll answer that while I'm here. So what is a project management degree? So this again is a new programme that we're looking to offer later this year. And it will provide you with the opportunity to work on a series of projects across the business. So previously, to give you an example, some of our apprentices worked on coordinating the COVID-19 test delivery. So I'm sure many of you conducted those back a few years ago. And if you can imagine how many tests you probably went through to coordinate that for the whole country, it was a massive project. So obviously we come into the business, we don't throw you into the deep end, but you are able to work onto some really strategic projects and deliver real results for people as well. And then on the other side of the screen, I've just put some of our sort of benefits there more than anything. So with all of our apprenticeships, you'll be offered the experience to go across a few different business areas, projects or teams. You'll be given opportunities to obviously explore all of the apprenticeship standards, and you'll be supported by not just your line manager or your business lead, but also our team in early careers as well. We offer coaching and mentoring support. There's generous holiday entitlements, competitive salaries, and then we also have a lot of employee networks. So particularly alongside some of our sort of youth networks, our next gen networks, we also have a very good apprenticeship ambassador community as well. So again, just further some of the other benefits really, as with lots of organisations, we have people panels and we look into how we can continue to engage employees, particularly with our early careers community. We're always keen to hear your ideas about how we can make sure that you're getting the best employee experience possible. So that is a really big focus for us, alongside wellbeing support as well. I've covered off mentoring and coaching, but we also have a lot of charity partnerships. You might have seen in the media that our newest charity partnership is with the British Heart Foundation. So lots of our employees are able to sort of bring some of their passion to work to supporting charities in their role as well. Okay, so I'm just going to talk to you about our finance apprenticeship today, and this is in particular because our vacancies have just gone live for these roles. So I'll just give you a bit of an overview, and then you'll be able to hear from 2 apprentices who are going to kindly join me on this session today. So our finance apprenticeship is a 3 to 5 year programme, and the reason it's 3 to 5 years is it will depend on any AAT exemptions that you might have if you've already done any studying towards finance or accounting before. Our apprenticeship is due to start in September this year, and our applications are currently open until the 19th of May. A starting salary is £15,000, and there'll be pay increases as you achieve each of your AAT qualifications and apprenticeship standards as well. And then upon successful completion, there'll be a minimum salary of £27,624 as specified there. So alongside studying the level 2, 3 and 4 apprenticeship standards, you will also have the opportunity to study the Association of Accounting Technician qualifications at each level as well. So not only will you come out with an apprenticeship standard and lots of work experience, but you'll come out with a formal finance qualification as well. So the way it works is we have vacancies in Bolton and we have vacancies in Chesterfield as well. And you will be given a broad range of experience across several different teams throughout your apprenticeship. So some of the examples given on this slide is the accounts receivable team, where you're working directly with customers and helping to set up their accounts. Or it could be accounts payable, where you're dealing with suppliers on a variety of different processes. But by the end of your apprenticeship, the aim really is that you've had a vast amount of experience throughout the different sort of financial services teams, and then you would be able to sort of have a better understanding of where your career aspirations lie after that as well. There's also quite a bit of data management, reporting, and digitalisation in finance as well. So you also have some opportunities to deliver process improvements through the use of technology, and that is expanding more and more as obviously technology becomes more prevalent and integral to businesses as well. So about you then, so this is an entry-level role. So we're looking for applicants wanting to start their finance careers. That doesn't mean if you've had experience in a different sector or area that you can't apply for this role. It's just for people who are maybe looking to shift or come and join us after school or college and get into a finance career. You don't have to be an expert. We are just looking for people who are motivated, passionate and talented and really want to work towards becoming a finance professional. And then our kind of hard and fast entry requirements are 5 GCSEs or equivalent at grade C, 4 or higher, including maths and English. So if you do have any international qualifications, when you apply, you'll let us know and we can work out the equivalency of that for you. And then that bottom box kind of says, because of the way apprenticeship standards work, you need to be able to demonstrate that you will get a certain amount of new learning. Otherwise, what would be the point in doing an apprenticeship? We obviously want to stretch and challenge you. We want you to come out having developed new skills at the end of the apprenticeship. So if you have received any professional accountancy qualifications greater than AAT level 3, so that might be AAT level 4, it might be finance related degrees or a CIMA qualification, unfortunately you wouldn't be able to do this apprenticeship. However, you might want to look at some of our other opportunities outside of apprenticeships as well. So you've probably heard quite enough from me. I'm conscious I've been talking for nearly 25 minutes. So I'm going to ask Matthew and George to just join me and kind of talk to you a bit about their experience being a finance apprentice and working for Royal Mail. And then we'll move into a Q&A at the very end. Hi both. So if you just want to start by introducing yourself really and sort of the apprenticeship you're on. George, are you all right if I come to you first?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in. Yeah. So hi everybody, my name's George and I'm a finance apprentice that's currently in my third year, just about to start the third year of my business in the business. And I work in the group receivables office that is based up in Bolton. Does Matthew introduce? Do you want me to carry on, or do you want Matthew to?
I can jump in.
Yeah.
It's fine. So I'm just only 6 months with the business in my first year on the finance apprenticeship in the Bolton office, and I'm currently working with the credit referencing team.
Thank you very much. So, Matthew, if we sit with you for now, what does a typical day look like for you in your apprenticeship at the moment?
So typically we start the day off with a huddle with the manager, get the lowdown of what we're doing for the day, and then my role in particular is usually monitoring the inbox. So when the sales department get an opportunity towards them, they send it to us to check to make sure they're a reliable source. So we check to see if they're credit worthy, determine the credit limit that should then be applied on the account, and it's sent back towards them. And then recently I've been trained up on some of the direct debit departments, so dealing with the failed direct debits, refunding it back to our accounts and managing those in terms of suspending some of them or changing the details on them.
Sounds like a very busy day.
That's just morning.
Yeah, well, exactly. And George, if I come to you, so what does a typical day look like in your role?
I should probably. So I've moved. One of the benefits of working for Royal Mail is that you're never really stuck doing the same thing for too often. So I'm now on my third team since I've been here at the business. I actually originally started on the same team as Matthew, which was obviously checking if customers were credit worthy for applications. I've since worked on a team that deals with inquiries, and now I've moved on to a credit control team. So a typical day for me usually involves coming in the morning, having a look in my calendar and just checking that I've not got anything booked in for the day, because we're asked to contribute to important meetings throughout the week. So I know for the finance as a whole, they like to get us all together on quite a regular basis and do an all hands call, which basically means that the chief financial officer at the very top, likes to basically lay out their plans for the business going forward, and how we can obviously help to contribute to those plans. And then there's other meetings that I also have to keep an eye out on for. So as Sarah mentioned earlier, the business is looking to progress in any way possible, because I guess some of the ways we do things and some of the systems we use might be seen as slightly outdated. So as a business, we're obviously trying to transition into a parcel business, but also in the finance area, we're trying to come up with ways in which we can manage quite an excessive workload, because obviously, if we're moving towards a parcels business, we are getting more and more customers that want to use us, because we are, I believe we are still the cheapest option for most people to use. So more and more customers are coming in, and we have to find ways of making the systems automated almost to be able to help us do our daily jobs. So there's meetings that I have to keep an eye out for in the week like that. My typical day involves coming in the morning, and I manage an automated ledger where on this ledger, accounts are suspended and reinstated based on outstanding debts on the account. So at the start of every day or the start of every week, I'll run a daily and a weekly report, and basically just kind of get an overview of what's going on the ledger and look at the customers that have the highest figures on my ledger. And then it's basically involves going to those customers and trying to work out a plan to either receive immediate payment or find out what's happening with them. And there can be multiple reasons why a customer hasn't paid. They could be going into liquidation, they could already be dissolved, they could be having problems due to the time of year. So Christmas is always a busy period when we find that the figures can go up quite significantly. And then more recently, so within February and March, we obviously have to publish year-end figures. So we have to work. It feels like we have to work especially hard in those 3 months to be able to get the best figures possible out there, and that's quite a busy period where it involves speaking to customers and trying to bring in as much money as possible. So my daily job basically revolves around downloading reports, speaking to customers, and then in general going into my email inbox and basically dealing with as many inquiries as possible, and just sifting through those to see however we can help customers. And like I say, we work on the receivable side, so we mainly involve dealing with our customers, but we can liaise with people in Chesterfield who deal with our suppliers as well. If people are interested in that side of things, then our payables team in Chesterfield do deal with our suppliers, and we do every now and then sit down in meetings with other apprentices that are based in Chesterfield and other people based in Chesterfield, and they'll kind of let us know what's happening on their side of things.
Thank you very much. A very thorough overview. So as I'm sure everybody on the call can gather, there is lots to get involved in finance for sure. So Matthew, what drew you to Royal Mail and specifically the finance apprenticeship programme?
So I was just looking for a career change. So I ended up in retail and progressed through the management scheme and ended up on the senior management team for Morrison's in particular, and was just looking for something which I'd use more of the finance knowledge that I had. So I did quite well for mathematics at A level. I was doing a lot of like productivity targets and availability, wastage within the business, and was looking for a way to apply some of that knowledge into something which I could then progress in towards. So had a look round, found the finance apprenticeship, and the Royal Mail was perfect for the job in terms of it's a very linear progression path through the level 2 into level 3 into level 4 and then into a career at the end of it. Or you can then, there's lots of opportunities to move on to graduate schemes and do degrees in accountancy and get chartered with the Royal Mail.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Was that the same for yourself, George, or was there something else as to what drew you to the programme?
It's probably multi-layered a little bit. So much like Matthew, I did decide that I needed a change in career. So I used to be a building manager, and I figured I needed something a little bit more challenging that was going to push me to sort of go in the direction with my career that I wanted to go. I've always had an interest with money and numbers, and I feel like you've got to have some sort of interest in that if you want to move towards a finance apprenticeship, because you're going to be looking at figures and numbers nearly every single day. So if you don't, you're going to get a little bit sick of it. But Royal Mail as a whole, as a business, it was obviously a prestigious business. It's in FTSE 250. So they have a lot of people there that are able to support where you want to go with, and it gives you different options once you've gone through the levels. So I'm just about to finish level 3. There's level 4 that will come next, but because of the size of the business, there are many options that you can go into once that's finished. So I know there's a couple of apprentices that have just finished in the office that have moved into management accounting now. So some have gone on to SEMA courses, and some have gone on to ACCA courses, which if you're interested in finance, you may be aware of. And there are also graduate schemes that have been opened up to the apprentices. I know that there's an apprentice that's just finished in the summer just gone last year, who's now in the first year of his graduate scheme within finance there. I think he's also studying for SEMA on that graduate course. So you get that opportunity to be able to continue to develop. So if like me, you really love to learn alongside doing your work, and always looking to improve, then Royal Mail's just been a great option to be able to do that, just because of the size and support that basically they can offer everybody. So yeah, that's it. That's what appealed to me, basically.
Thank you very much. And I'm conscious of time because I can see there's a lot of questions coming in, and we've got a couple more slides to finish. So I guess 2 things from you both to finish off. What's one thing that you're enjoying the most about your apprenticeship? And then one piece of advice that you'd give to anybody thinking about joining us on an apprenticeship? Matthew?
So there's always something different to do. Recently, we were involved in a special project to try and produce debt figures and come up with new ways of analysing those using a particular software called Tableau, which the business was exploring. And it was really interesting to get involved and experiment with a lot of that. And just give it a go. At the end of the day, Royal Mail is brilliant for having loads of different options. So if you find that the apprenticeship in finance isn't working for you, speak to your team and they'll help you find your niche that you are best at.
Thanks very much. And George?
I suppose it's very similar. I suppose it's the opportunity and the ability to learn alongside being able to do your job on a daily basis. Having been in other education areas before, it's obviously quite nice to be earning money alongside learning about the career that you want to do as a profession. So that's nice. And then just maybe to sort of cover a couple of the questions in the chat where things that are quite nice. You get quite a lot of flexibility with Royal Mail. So if you've got an exam coming up, they'll give you half a day to go and study alongside the annual leave that you already have and all the study leave that you already have. You will get extra time to prepare for exams. We obviously, because of the sector we're in, we work a hybrid system. So we do get a couple of days to work from home, which obviously gives us a little bit more flexibility as well. And overall, yeah, it's nice to have the support there to be able to sort of do these things. Yeah, so I think that's it. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I think it looks like Sarah's having some technical issues. Shall we have a look at some of the other questions in there then? So, do we get to work with the other apprentices? So typically the apprentices are split up into different teams, but we will end up working side by side on specific projects from time to time.
Yeah, and I know Sarah's second question was about asking about tips and tricks sort of for applying. What can you do to sort of help boost your application? It's taking an interest in the business and where it's going. taking an interest in the history of the business, but also recognizing what the aims of the business are, looking out on the like the stock market and seeing what the share price is at, seeing the decisions that Royal Mail are making in the news, seeing maybe what the outcomes of all the strikes, what happened during that. It's little things that will just give you that edge to show that you're really taking an interest in what the business is doing and where the business is going.
Thank you very much, both. And apologies, everybody. I had to reconnect there. I'm hoping I'm back and you can hear me now. Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Matthew and George, for joining us today. I appreciate you're very busy by the sounds of it, but I'm sure everyone appreciated hearing about your experience and some of your advice. So thank you very much. So I'll just whiz through a few last slides and then we can move on to the Q&A and answer all your questions. So what are we looking for if you apply for our programs? So we're looking for how you naturally approach tasks, really. So are you a logical thinker? Do you have a creative mindset? How do you find solutions to the problems? How do you work independently and with teams? So don't worry if you don't have any previous work experience and you think, oh, I've not got examples of things where I've done that. We're just looking at your motivation, your passion, and how you would adapt to situations more than anything. And then we're also looking for your interests. So if you're coming to join us and do some work experience or an apprenticeship in finance, we want to see that you're passionate about finance. If you're coming in to do engineering, we want to see that you want to fix things, that you want to diagnose problems, and that you're passionate about that area as well. And then just some interview top tips, know your CV. So whatever you put on your CV, obviously we'll have read it. So if you're coming to an interview, just be prepared to talk about whatever you've put on there, whether it's a skill, an experience, something that you've studied, and even a hobby if you put that on there as well. Make sure you research, I think, as Matthew and George kind of said there, have a look at Royal Mail, at what we're doing. If you go onto our International Distribution Services website, which is for the whole group, you'll be able to see some of the projects that are going on, whether it be some of the trials with drones, electrifying our fleet and our vans, and some of our parcel hubs as well. It's all interesting stuff to look at. And then most importantly, just be yourself and relax. As I said, we're just looking for your motivation and your passion, which I'm sure will shine through for every single one of you as well. So how and where do you apply for our programs? So again, for apprenticeships, internships and graduate programs, they will all be advertised on our early careers website. I do have the links directly for our finance apprenticeships in Bolton and Chesterfield. So once I'm finished talking, I'll post them in the chat. If I multitask, I'll go on a tangent, but I'll do that for you once we've finished in a moment. And then if you're interested in having some sort of work experience or T-level placement with us, if there's a particular area of the business that you're really interested in finding more about, please email us at early.careers@royalmail.com. And what we will do there is we will take your query down to the local business area and we will really have a look into what we can offer you on an individual level as well. So again, thank you very much for listening. I'm conscious we've done a lot of talking today, but we'll move into the Q&A section now.
Yes, that was amazing. Thank you very much, guys. It was very insightful. So, as you say, let's crack on, shall we? We have a lot to get through. Let's start off with what is the project management degree? Do you do any finance degree apprenticeships for me to progress after the level 4?
Yes, so on the project management degree apprenticeship, I think I mentioned earlier that is a new apprenticeship we're hoping to get out earlier this year. But you would join us and you would work on a series of projects. It could literally be anything in the business. I mentioned that some of our previous apprentices supported coordinating all of the deliveries of the COVID-19 tests. We've had apprentices support deployments of different revisions and projects in our operations. So there's a vast amount of projects that you would get involved in, but you will be given a lot of autonomy and responsibility in those roles as well. We do offer finance graduate schemes as well. So currently, we do have people who have come in through our finance AAT apprenticeship, completed their level 4, and then they have had the opportunity to apply to do the level 7 accountancy taxation professional apprenticeship as well. So alongside that, you would do the CIMA exams and qualification, and again you would be able to go on to different placements and work with different teams to experience sort of a different side of finance that you might do on AAT as well. So we don't have those opportunities currently live as of yet, but I would direct you to our early careers site. There is a big red button on there that says create an alert. So if you pop your email in there, you will be notified when any of our graduate or apprenticeship schemes become available as well.
Perfect. By expanding on from that, Charles says, is the project management open to international professionals looking to join the Royal Mail as well?
So there are a couple of sort of there's some eligibility criteria, particularly around apprenticeships for residency and citizenship. So what I'd recommend is, if you are an international student, or again, like I mentioned earlier, you have international qualifications and things like that, if you drop us an email at theearly.careers@royalmail.com email inbox, we can explore your individual situation and make sure, obviously, you know, that you're aware as to whether you're eligible or not for the scheme.
Perfect. It's a good question. Leila says, how would you sum up working at Royal Mail? So that'll go to all three of you.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd love Matthew and George's opinions on that. For me, I think it might have been you, Matthew, who said earlier that no day's ever the same. And I think that is in every single role, whether you're in a customer-facing role and you're dealing with different people on a day-to-day basis, or whether maybe you're working more internally with your different colleagues. There's always new challenges. There's also always new positive experiences, new projects to get involved in. And I think, you know, I said before, we're a people business. There's so many people to meet with, but we're all very positive, very friendly, and it's a great experience to meet them colleagues. Matthew, I'll pass to you.
Yeah, so the teams are brilliant. They're all dead friendly. Everyone will just happily chat to you and get to know you as a person. It's not just working, it's working with a team, and the team will support anybody through anything that you could possibly need.
Yeah, I'd probably echo that as well. The people are great. The work's varied. You can always, especially as an apprentice, you can always ask for something new, something you haven't done before. So that's great. And because of the business as well, I suppose you mentioned the benefits are really good. There's discounts at places all across the country because of the links that the business has. Hybrid working is great. It helps support that sort of work-life sort of balance. So yeah, overall it's great.
Perfect. Sounds good to me. Now, what Mo says, what transferable skills do you get from being out of your doing, well, as your apprentices, what transferable skills have you developed?
So typically we use a hell of a lot of Excel working in finance. So learning like bits of Visual Basic and macros and different formulas has been massively helpful. You'll learn to use different pieces of software. So we use a lot of SAP, and you also do a lot of interacting with other teams and speaking to people. So you'll learn a lot of networking and interpersonal skills as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, the IT skills is great. How you can be put in situations that you want to improve upon as well. So if you're not so good at presenting, before you know it, you'll be the one presenting the awards for the end of year presentation. So if there's something you want to improve upon, there are opportunities to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. And of course, public speaking, as you're doing now.
Yes.
Did you think you'd be doing this 6 months ago? On to the next one now. Tyrone, here's a good question. What would you describe as your perfect candidate?
That is a very good one. I think perfect is an interesting question, because I think what we'd say is that we recognise everybody has their own strengths and everybody has something to bring to the organisation, and that can be very different from one person to the next. as I said before, we're a very diverse business, and that can be anything from diversity of thought, and particularly when we're talking about early careers, we're really passionate about young people coming into the business from all walks of life and all backgrounds, all different kind of education backgrounds as well, because we know that you've got fresh eyes to come and look at things for new perspectives, and you can help us move into a bit more of a modern day organisation as well. So I think I'd go back to what you'd say before, is just being yourself. If you've done anything in your day-to-day life, you support a friend, you're kind of always the person that somebody comes to for advice, you help family members out, you've done something really stellar in school or college on a project, just let us know about that, because we're really keen to understand what summarises you as an individual and what do you think you could bring to Royal Mail. I don't know, Matthew, George, is there anything that sort of sticks out for you?
Similar to what you were saying at the start, where there's not real. Everybody's different. Even on our apprenticeship, everybody's different. It's a good mix of people who've just left school, people who've just left college, people who've done it to change a career. So very, very varied in that area.
So I'll just change it slightly. So when you're saying with what you do well at and what you don't do well at, it's very important for the interview and for the application process to get that clear, and get some of those examples prepped and ready. Won't just be the Royal Mail interviews and things, but they will ask for specific examples where you've gone above and beyond, where you've shown particular diligence. It's important to have examples prepped and ready for any application that you put in.
Amazing. Great answer from all of you guys. Now, Ginny says, how do Royal Mail support employee mental health?
We've got a vast number of services actually, and I think it's a very hot topic at the moment. We've actually had a new head of wellbeing and health. I might have mixed that the wrong way round, but they've come in and done some stellar work to implement a number of services. So I think on one of the slides it mentioned our Feeling First Class support service. So that is an internal anonymous service that any of our employees can go to if you feel that you need some support. We also have a number of networks that you can work with, and we also have a number of services such as a 24/7 online GP that you can work with. We do physiotherapists. I know that's not necessarily mental health, but right across the board, we've got a suite of services that not just you can access, but many of them your partner or family have access to as well. George, I can see you nodding. Have I missed anything there?
No. I was gonna. The one thing I was definitely gonna mention was the Help at Hand GP service that's just been brought in, because I know a lot of people in the office have found it really beneficial to the point where they're ringing up and they're literally getting GP appointments on that evening. So within the same day of ringing up, and not just for them, like you say, you can call the GP and your partner can get the same support, your family can get the same support from that service.
Perfect. Rakesh says, do you have any SEN work experience?
So as I said, our work experience is kind of a bit more informal than us going out and sort of recruiting to that. So we do it on an individual basis. We have supported individuals with SEN work experience before, so I would really recommend that you get in touch with us at early.careers@royalmail.com, just so that we can explore that a bit more with you individually in your individual circumstances, and we can see what experiences we have to best support you. But yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. That really answers all them questions. We're perfectly on time, so thank you very much. But before we go, I would like to have your final words of advice for our attendees here.
From me, I guess I would just say again, going back, we're really passionate about our people, and we just want to understand, your interest in the areas, your enthusiasm, your motivation, and your excitement to join us. So when you are applying for us, definitely do, as Matthew said, have a bank of examples of where you've maybe worked in a team, or you've helped someone out, maybe where you've approached a situation empathetically, and what the result of that is. But I think underpin that with a drive, that you really want to come into the business, you're excited about the opportunities, and that you want to join us as well.
Perfect.
Matthew?
So just go for it. I mean, there's no harm in sending off the application, and getting to the interview will be immensely good experience. The people here are brilliant, and they will be extremely helpful to anything you need. So any kind of issues or problems you're having with the application, you could even just send it to Early Careers, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you out and coach you through and get you to where you want to be as an individual.
And similar for me, I'd say just take an interest in the company, take an interest in the career, and just more importantly, just be yourself in the interview. And like I say, I'm sure if you be yourself and you've got an interest in what you want to do, then I'm sure you'll have a great chance.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much, guys, for taking us through your experiences and showing our attendees what opportunities you have to offer at Royal Mail. Hope everyone in the the webinar found it very insightful. It's reaching the evening as my brain is starting to melt. So I hope we've all gained some useful information, and we're going to have a lovely evening. So thank you very much for our attendees, and I'll hopefully see you in the next webinar. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for everyone for joining.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thanks.
See you later.
Bye.
Cheerio.